Welcome to Business on Purpose, the podcast for hardworking entrepreneurs who drive our economy. I'm your host, Barry Barrett, and as a sales leader and business owner, I understand the challenges that come with entrepreneurship. Each episode, I am interviewing business owners who have faced the same struggles you have. Low revenue, a lack of scalability in their sales force. Together, we're going to explore their entrepreneurial journey and uncover the valuable lessons they've learned along the way. From mentors to advice, we'll dive deep into what has helped these business owners get unstuck and move forward towards success. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned entrepreneur, the podcast is for you. Be sure and follow and subscribe to this podcast as we learn from the experiences of successful business owners and navigate the road to entrepreneurship together. Let's get started. Good morning. I'm with Joe Hanson. Joe Hanson owns Gordy's Garage, and he has bought several of the locations, which I'm sure you're going to learn about. He is from Michigan. He's one of my 5 people that I personally call when I need help with advice, not only for business, but fatherhood, being a husband, health, spiritual advice, money advice. He is a Swiss Army knife for advice. And the reason that I call him is because he not only gives advice, but he's one of the few people that I see that absolutely lives the advice that he gives. And he's not perfect. I know he's getting ready to probably say something like that, but man, he has a lot of stuff together and he is who he says he is. I've known him for probably 10 to 12 years now. And he's always the person I'm like, hey, Joe, I'm stuck here. What do you think? Joe, welcome to the show. I appreciate you. I know you're embarrassed about what I just said. Get over it.
Yeah, a lot less than what you just said, but yeah, it's all good. Pleasure to be here. Glad to be on your show, and yeah, looking forward to see where this leads.
Good. I love it. Just to open it up right now, Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get your start and following to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a second generation repair facility owner. I grew up in that business. My dad started that probably about 1979, 1980. I was born on, I think, hoist 3 or 4. I'm not sure where we were. So I totally grew up in the business and always had a love-hate relationship with it. Part of the time, like, I'm never doing this. This is dumb. I don't like it. But secretly, all those times I was maybe emotional about that, because growing up in a family-owned business can have its challenges. It matures you real quick. And so now today, we started out with the one shop. We purchased the shop from Christina, my wife, purchased the shop from my parents. I think it was about 4 years ago now, roughly. And since then, we purchased a second location and a third. And it's been a fun ride, man. It's been more ups than downs, but it's been all that stuff that you go through growing up in a family business. It prepares you, I think. Not that I'm there, but I feel like I'm equipped to handle what I have in front of me.
Yeah, it's funny. We have a family business. It's also an automotive repair shop, which is where we know each other from. But one of the things that I've listened to you right now, and your dad, 1979, me and my brother, and we started it. And what I'm realizing is what stories are going to be told from our kids or their kids or whatever from 9. And so that's pretty exciting to hear you talk about.
Yeah.
So tell me about the frustrations specifically that you experienced growing up in this business.
It's funny. I was thinking about that and I don't remember them now like I did then. Like now I'm just looking at it and I keep saying to myself, thank God that happened. So now I can know this. Thank God that happened. So now I know this. A lot of it's emotional stuff, to be honest. It's not cars at all. It's not. It's just, I think it comes down to even like the core values that we've established in our company now and our purpose and the reason we do what we do. It all comes back down to watching my dad's example, right? So he's always been about helping people, no matter what. Whether he made money, lost money, I don't think he thought about money, to be honest with you. I think he just thought, let's get this car fixed. Let's get this going so this person can get to wherever it is they need to get with their vehicle. I just always watched him do that. And he never complained. Honestly, like it was like, dang, I complain a lot. There's no doubt compared to what so I think, look at the frustrations. I think, man, he worked a lot. He did all these things, but it was all an example of what we're supposed to be, I believe, as humans. Like our purpose is to help people do life. That's what we do. And it just so happens that we do that through automotive repair. Or is it like they come in, some people come in and just vent. They come in and just complain and they're in the worst mood and it's not even about their car. It's just about everything else going on and their car just happens to set them off. We help people do life. And I think all those things that, the frustrations maybe of, I'm trying to think of some, I can remember specifically being frustrated a lot of times that we didn't have a specific way of doing things at work. It'd be like, there's no systems in place and there was no accountability in place. And it was chaotic in my world. What's going on here? What's going on? And those, ironically, are the things that I struggled with so much then, is now I'm like, we have those now. As we build our company, I have systems, we have accountability, we have things in place. Not perfect, always a work in progress, but they're there. Expectations are set, boundaries are set. People know they've got to be to work, and which we don't have a problem with. They're there. It's not an issue. So yeah, the frustrations have been turned into things that are the good things now, right? Yeah. So I think that there was a plan in place for all that, for sure.
Do you think some of your limited, that you can't remember some of the frustrations is because now when you're in that place, you have more empathy for your dad?
Oh, for sure. It wasn't him. It was just in general. Business. Oh, for sure. I think about how much empathy you have for people, the more you do things, right? Like, I think that I know for me, I've been guilty of, as I go through this journey of this business, I'm like, man, I remember back in the day, I would have been hard on someone for that. But now I'm like, I get it now. Like, they're going through stuff, like there's stuff going on, and that's okay. You give people more slack. Hey, this is not a big deal, man. Now that I've been there, I get what they're going through at some things. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
I love that. I met your dad for the first time. I think you had just bought it from him, and he was there, and I walk in and he just greeted me like he knew me for 20 years.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, man, this guy, he's a bigger guy.
Big guy, yeah.
Yeah, and you meet him, you're like, oh, that guy could be intimidating. And then you meet him and you're like, oh, he's not intimidating at all, man. Well, he's one of the nicest guys
big teddy bear
I've ever seen. Yeah. I do. I look at your dad and I'm like, I could see where he created the heart of this business about people. And I've known you for a long time. You're a huge process guy. And you can be like, yeah, your heart's there too. Don't get me wrong. But you're like, well, if we don't have the process, we can't really have the heart right now. We just can get our stuff together, get it here, and we can
have both.
You got to have both, right?
Even now he's 82, just turned 82 in February. Wow. And he works every day. He's there, does whatever he's got to do. He's doing what he's always done, helping. It didn't matter where. We catch him cleaning the bathroom sometimes. Yeah. What's going on? He's like, I got to get done. So it's in him. That's what he does. And at 82, he's still running and helping and doing whatever needs to be done. He sees things that we don't see still to this day. He's got experience, wisdom, things that we'll probably never understand.
Every time you talk about him, I'm telling you, I'm doing it right now. I get a little teary-eyed because my history, we'll go into that, who cares? But I'm like, dude, if everybody had a dad like that, man, what a wonderful place this would be, right?
Yep.
So I love that.
It's not the business stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
It's the example of how you treat it like it's past tense, how he works with people.
Yeah. It was, so you bought the business.
Yep.
Then what happened?
There was a little transition there as far as who's really in charge here, right? Because it's been for, I don't know, 30 whatever years it was him. And then it's okay, here we go. I'm in charge. But there was a transition period there. It wasn't like a boom, now I'm in charge, I'm responsible. There was a transition period there that we were going through during that time, because I ran a lot of it. Being there, like I had a lot of responsibilities, pretty much the same ones I had the day I bought it. They're the same ones. So it wasn't a huge transition there, but there's the things like, hey, this is the way I want to go forward with the way we do things now. And it was very minimal. It's really a huge success story as far as how it went down. Our goal, just to go back into it a little bit about our goal when we did the transition, if you will, or the acquisition, or the, however you want to word it in a family business, the goal was that Thanksgiving, we still had dinner together.
Nice.
It wasn't the business transaction. It wasn't all of that, because all that would be done. But we wanted to make sure at the end that everybody was made whole, right? The price was right. The payment was right. All of that. And then we could sit at Thanksgiving dinner and not have any energy in a negative manner towards it. So we could just sit there and eat and be a family. And so that transition was, it was flawless. We had the right people in place, though. I had the right mentors coaching me through it. We took our time. We did the meetings. We met with the family. We made sure everything was done properly to the best of our ability. And at the end of the day, I don't think there was one hiccup. Our family all loves each other still. We're not fighting over it. Everybody understands what was expected and what was done. And it went off amazingly.
Yeah, I'm an EOS implementer, as everybody knows by now, I'm sure, that's listening. But one of the things that I tell people is, especially I walk into a family business and they're like, hey, why should we choose you? One of the things, especially if you're a family business, I tell people, if you walk into our front door, you're going to see my nephew who's 22. He just turned 22. He's basically running the business. To the left of him, you're going to see my 40-year-old little brother, Matthew. If you look to the left of that, you're going to see my mother who works there. You're going to go in the back. You're going to see two of my brothers. And it's funny you said the Thanksgiving. It is, I can teach you how to have really healthy conflict in your business and still make Thanksgiving dinner taste good. And
Right.
that's one of the differentiators that I would say that I have, because we are really family oriented and our family is really good at conflict. And
Yeah.
sometimes maybe it's not what people would call healthy, but at the end of the day, we love each other and we understand the parameters around those. And we show up to Thanksgiving and things are good.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you've lived it though, so you understand it's more than just a textbook answer for you, because you've actually worked in that business and you get it. There's days you just want to punch them out, and you know that's not the solution, right? We've all been there in a family.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we've even done the punch out. I think it's actually happened.
I have a problem. My brother, you've met him. He's 6'4", 210, and I just am not ready. He's just hard to take on with the punch out thing.
He would take you out. Like I think he would take you
100%.
He'd
So
take
I don't.
both of us and all our friends.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't mess with him.
No.
So I just said,
Very smart. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
That's good. So good, man. I love that. And so before this talked, and you're talking about the right mentors, the right coaches.
Yeah.
Before we started this, we talked about the difference. We're from the same industry, the automotive repair.
Yep.
And then I do coaching that is non-automotive repair. It's like any kind of business. And we talked about the difference between industry-specific coaching. You and I met at it's what's called a peer group meeting where we all get together. That was extremely helpful in my growth. I loved it. I loved the industry-specific coaching. I was an industry coach at one point. And we said, hey, what's the difference between, do you need an industry-specific coach? Do you need a non-industry specific coach, business coach? So tell me what your thoughts are around that.
So my experience with it is, yes, you do need an industry-specific coach, hands down, because you need to know, number one, they've been there, done that. They've usually an industry-specific coach with a peer group style has had, so you get a room of 20 different businesses, the amount of experience in there, it's all been done before. And it's just a matter of, you need an answer. It's just a matter of you asking the question. And so I think that I don't want to say in the beginning, because I think you always need access to an industry specific coach for things like what your margins are going to need to be, how to set up your pay plans, and how to set up even your shops or your business, how to set that up. So that's very industry specific. But at the same time, I think you also need somebody with I don't want to see a bigger view, but a more generalized view of just where are you going with this business, right? Because it's not all about gross profit margins and all that down the road. If you want to expand your business and turn it from a self-employment business into an actual business where you're not needed, to where you can manage people properly, I would say coach people properly is probably better. Then you're going to need, I believe, you're going to need somebody that has a broader view of more than just how to fix a car, how to get a profit margin out of a car. Just for example, so moving from, in a family business, just moving from, I work for my dad, to wanting to own the shop, how could an industry specific coach tell me that on the emotional side? So for example, like Larry is my life coach, business coach. And he said, hey, look, these are the things you're going to need to do as you transition through this business with your family. And I never heard that before until I met Larry, right? So if that were true, an industry specific coach maybe knows a little bit, but not all that. That's what he did, right? And he has a bigger view of, okay, you want to expand. Okay, what's that look like? That's a different type of coach than what your P&L look like. That's a different type of coach. It's very strategic then. It's, okay, if you're going to expand, how are you going to hang out with your family? These are deep questions those are the ones that matter.
Oh yeah.
Or how about this? Why are you expanding? Why do you want more locations? I don't know, because that's what everyone else is doing. That's not a good answer.
Very
Is it the money? I don't know. How much money do you need? Have you figured that out? No. Okay, let's do that. It's not, is it just because you want to say you have more shot? Is it ego? That's a valid question. Is it ego?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it is actually, and that's
Some of
okay.
it always is, no?
Yeah, but it can't all be ego, right? Because
Right.
ego's not going to carry you through, right?
I tell you, the ego will break you. You ever see
Oh,
these MMA fighters and they get somebody, gets them in an arm bar, and all you have to do is tap. Some of them have such an ego that they just let their arm break.
yeah.
The fight's over either way.
Either way,
But you could have not broken your arm, and that's
Right.
what ego does.
Right.
It makes you not want to tap when you should tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It gives you a little bit of good, but then it can get real bad, real quick.
So I can tell you my experience too with going from industry specific coach to a non-industry specific coach, right? So teacher, facilitator, coach. And that's the difference in my mind between a coach, facilitator, and a teacher and a consultant. So I would say in my previous life, I was a consultant. I'd go in and I'd say, here's what I know about automotive repair sales specifically. And I would teach that, and people would do what I say and they would get results because
Sure.
that's what I was taught. And I got results from being taught those principles. What I'm getting now is, in the beginning, I would work with automotive repair shops mostly as an implementer. And what I found was, and I didn't know at the time, is I'd be giving them advice in the session room, and really I should have been asking questions about what they wanted. And I had what I call the curse of knowledge, thinking I knew what they wanted. And as I go through this, a couple of my clients are still automotive repair. And what I find now is I don't bring in my own advice. I literally just ask them questions. And what I'm seeing is they already had the industry knowledge from an industry specific coach. And now we have a leadership team.
Yeah.
Are the board of directors, and I'm asking questions, teaching a system. They're putting their knowledge in there, and they're getting way better results because they already know the information. And then now the difference is a leadership team, as where coaches will help the entrepreneur get to a point. You have to have other coaches to help leadership get on the same page so it can be scaled. Is that what you've seen? That's my experience.
Yeah, because how could you even do what you do if you have a dysfunctional business owner? Like if he doesn't know his numbers, he doesn't know how to run his business, and you're going to teach him a system to do what? He doesn't know how to run?
To get more problems and bigger debt issues, right?
Yeah, because all these things, the discipline and all of that, you need them to have a little of that before you can implement. I'm assuming before you can successfully implement these other systems, right? Even a leadership team, it's you got to have something to work with, right? It's not, but you can't get there without an industry specific coach in the beginning because you don't have anything to manage. Like you literally need a business that is somewhat functional. You need a business that has numbers to manage. You need a business to hold accountable. You need all that. Otherwise, there's nothing to manage. There's nothing to improve upon.
Yeah. 12 years ago, I didn't even really know what gross profit meant. And I looking back, I'm like, how did I not know what gross profit means?
And having confused between gross and net. Like people think that's all the same, right? And then who teaches that? Like a life coach?
No.
That's stuff that your industry coach teaches.
I used to think that I could outsell my way out of anything.
Yeah.
And still believe that at some point.
I get it. That's just, just takes longer.
That's good.
I think they totally need an industry specific coach. Totally need if you're going to grow, you're going to need a coach that can help you grow based on what you've learned in your business as a one or smaller business.
So where would you start? Would you start with the industry specific, somebody who's new to business, or would you start the other way?
Looking now, I'd probably do both. to be honest, I think if you're talking about a business owner, like I can only speak for my little world here, is that I found that the things that have held me back the most in growing my company is me. And I know everybody says that, but it's like,
it's true.
It's the books, man. It's like, what's your emotional intelligence? You got to be able to I don't like the word deal because that is a negative word, but you got to be able to work with people like even when they're sometimes not workable, there's skill involved in that. You've got to be able to help people where they're at and move them to the next level. And you can't do that though if you're messed up, if you're not confident, if you're not reading, if you're not listening, if you're not associating with people that have already done that. I don't know how we get there. Like, I don't know. And it's a struggle, right? So to me, it's always like you asked the question, how would you get started? You do both. Like, you just dive the heck in. Like, you just go after it. Like, you got to have a killer, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to make it happen mentality. You've got to learn. You've got to just read books, take 15 minutes a day, take it in the bathroom, whatever you got to do. Take that book and read it. Associate with people that have been there, done that. Get involved in groups that make you so uncomfortable that you don't belong in the room. Like, these are things like when you join like for me, I remember, again, from my experience going to a 20 group meeting, that was terrifying to go into a room with all these guys that already, whether they were good or not, you automatically in your mind go, man, these guys are awesome at what they do, whether they weren't, and they all were. And you're sitting there and they start asking you questions and you're trying to learn and all that. It's like the most intimidating thing ever. But you know what? Now that's the best thing I ever did, is to get into that, to sit down with somebody, maybe even like a business owner or a mentor that's been there, done that, to sit down with that person. It's very uncomfortable to do because you just think you're not worthy, right? But you do it anyway. You just got to take the time and sit down with people that are successful and listen to them and take notes and try to apply as much as you can. So to get started, both, like, just dive in. And I'm still doing that now. I'm just starting. I'm doing this now. I'm uncomfortable now. I'm actually sweating. So even sitting down with you, it's like you manage coach these businesses, and I see them. I'm like, how does he even? That's so crazy. I don't get it, but I get it. But I'm like, it's like jumping out of an airplane or something. The adrenaline. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you got to have that desire to do that.
Every business I work with now is bigger than any business I ever had.
Yeah.
And it is. It's like jumping out of an airplane. Okay.
Even though, isn't it scary going in there?
It's scary as heck every time. I'm like, I just took on a law firm and they asked me we call it a 90. Have you ever worked with a law firm? I go, no, don't need to. And they go, what?
Right.
And I can have that confidence now.
Now, right.
But usually I don't want to tell them I didn't work for a law firm. I'm going to, because it's the right thing to do, but maybe but it doesn't matter. And so what gave me confidence, it's funny because you were talking about systems and processes earlier, and the system that I teach, the first time I walked into and was intimidated, I walked into a dental, it's called DSO. And so big, I'd never even thought about that. And I'm like, it's the first time I was really in a room where I was like, I'm very uncomfortable with this situation. Big leadership team. They were all accomplished. And I had to tell myself, it's not me, it's the system.
Right.
If I just follow the system, and that's when I really started understanding what I don't know.
Yeah.
Because until you get there, you don't know what you don't know. And I'll go back to the 20 group. When I walked into a 20 group, and I don't see that you were this, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I was defensive the first meeting.
You were?
I was. The first meeting, I was defensive about a lot of things because I didn't want to come across as I didn't know what I was talking about, even though I knew I was out of my league. But I would go back to what I knew and I would defend. And I'm really good at the Socratic method. So I'm good at going around your question and not answering the question because I'm afraid of the answer. And I was young and didn't know. And so I would be a little defensive. And I don't see that of you. Maybe you were.
No, actually, you just brought that memory back because I remember sitting in the room and Mark Flagar was there. John Waffler was there. And John Waffler was going, why don't you own the building? And I go, well, it's a lot of money. I don't remember the exact answer. And I just kept defending it. And then Mark Flair was doing the numbers on it. You can't lie. Numbers don't lie.
No.
And so he's doing them. And then I go, I guess it's just, I'm just going to say, I just don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. And then the whole room started laughing because they could tell what I was, to your point, I was defending why I didn't have it. And they already knew, and I'm trying to make up something new that isn't new. And so then I finally just said, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's what it was. And everyone started laughing. I could still remember Waffler laughing. Yeah. And then after that, it was a lot easier to be in the room because I had admitted I'm stupid.
So it took me longer. So what I would do, and this to be the truth, is no one had a bigger per sale than I did.
Right.
In the room at the point. And I would be like, yeah, but look at my sales. Yeah, but look at my sales. And I would always So no one was laughing because I was being a jerk,
Right.
because I was so afraid of other things. Now, the third or fourth meeting, people started laughing because I was like, you know what? I don't know. I just
Right.
don't know. And then I
Right.
got, so, and I figured it took me longer than it did you. It takes me longer than everything at you.
Not true. You're faster than me.
Yeah. So that's good,
To
man. I
finish a
love
marathon.
that.
Yeah. But being defensive, that's
Yeah.
definitely.
So that's where you are. So where are you today? Tell us about where you are at this moment in your life and your business.
Yeah. So with business, we have 3 locations. We're looking to add on to our second location, another location within a location. So we're looking to have 4 by this year. And
Wait a minute. What's a location within a location?
see, so the thing is we have a auto repair business, right?
Uh-huh.
And then so we're going to add on a truck. It's going to be a different name and everything, a truck business on that location. So they're separate businesses, 100%.
Same building?
It would be next to it. Yeah.
Yeah. You see how you just try to skirt that by and just be like, oh, so, like it was something that you do.
What's that?
How'd you a location within a location? You
Oh,
almost try to just say it like it's just something. It's just normal. It's not normal. And so, how did you come up with that concept? And
yeah. I mean, that I don't even know if you're allowed to do it, but I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it, put it that way.
yeah,
No, it's a truck business, so it's separate. So I'm gonna have separate operations and everything else. So I just
big
figured
truck business. Is it big
eh,
truck semis?
no, everything less than a semi.
Okay.
Yep. So diesels and all that. We already do this work. We just do a lot of it outside because we have a demand. We've got over 20 trucks sitting there now waiting to be worked on. So we're like, all right, into the summer, not that big a deal because we work on them outside. I say my team works on them outside. And then the winter, there's only 2 spots in the current building that we can bring these trucks in. There's just not enough room. It's just the demand is huge. So we sat down as a team leadership team and say, what do we do about this? And my manager there, Mike, he's like, hey, we need a building. And they've talked about it prior to me owning it and all of that. They talked about it with the old owner and it just never came to fruition. But now I'm looking at this going, not only is it a humane thing to do, because I can't expect people to be doing this. This is crazy, right? 2, we're all about helping people do life. And we 100% have a demand and an opportunity to help these companies that are desiring a place to take their vehicle to have it fixed right. We can do that there. We can add on it's going to probably be about 8,000 square feet is the goal. Add on, we can put 6 to 7 bays in there, hire another diesel technician, and hey, man, let's just roll it. Why not? I don't understand.
So the cool thing is, and here's the thing that I want people to hear: it's still in his hedgehog concept. It's still just repairing a vehicle.
Yeah.
And with wheels. A boat can be a vehicle too,
Yeah.
but with wheels. And so it's hedgehog. It's just a different. So you said something really quick. You said, Mike, he's on my leadership team. How long have you had a leadership team, and how has that changed the game for you?
I would say an actual leadership team, probably 2 years is what we've had. And how's it changed the game? Man, how hasn't it? It's everything's different. Like I feel like we can really expand the company because we have people with, how do you explain that? Like, how hasn't it? There's so many things that so much more we can get done now.
Yeah.
The right people. It's not me just trying to do everything. Although there's days I feel like I'm doing more than I should be doing. I think that's just normal to be an entrepreneur though. I just want to get shit done.
Yeah.
About language, but I literally want to get stuff done, man. There's no time to waste. Like sleep gets in the way. We got things to do.
Yeah.
So with that thinking, it's probably not healthy, but I just think it's part of my growth. But the leadership team part of it, people holding people accountable now. You know, people not in a negative way. It's a positive.
Accountability is not negative.
So once we have an agreement, it's not negative. It's once we have an agreement on, hey, you said you're going to do this, it's cool, and I'm holding you accountable. You're lucky to have people.
Yeah.
Hold you accountable. I feel fortunate that people will be willing to hold me accountable because that's my growth. If I don't have that, I'm a mess. Like I'll do nothing right, in my opinion. I need people to hold me accountable. So that accountability is everything. It allows us to set goals. It allows us to have a vision. It allows us to have everything to move forward.
Yeah. What I heard is you got advice from Mike in order to add this new thing.
Sure.
And therefore his buy-in. But you said you asked the question of him, and that your leadership team is your board of directors as well. They're part of your coaching team, are they not?
100% they are. They see things I don't see. They know more than I know out there.
Yeah.
I'm just, as much as they're an advisory board, I'm kind of the same back. We go back and forth with that.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this? What about that? But at the end of the day, they execute it.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the things that, and this about me, and my clients know this about me, I'm a really direct person. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just am like, here's how I see it. Not how it is, because I don't know how it is, but here's how I see it. And one of the things that must get done first is I tell the owner, someone like you, but you're pretty, you take feedback from a lot of people very well, but in the beginning, a lot of owners don't, and they get defensive, just like I said before. And one of the things that I do is come in and I'm like, the first person that I'm going to try to hold accountable, is the owner of the business.
Right.
And I tell them, I'm like, as soon as I get you, I can get everybody else.
Yeah.
But I can't hold other people accountable. If you're not accountable, it doesn't work. And a lot of people that are new coaches will come in and try to placate the owner because they write the check. You have got to be willing to be fired for that accountability. And AJ said this, and AJ Neely said, you're living your core values when you're okay to lose money for them. So tell me about how you got to the level where you're okay being held accountable by people you write a check to.
Number one, I give them permission to do that. That's the first to say, hey, I try to always say, look, like during like we just had a meeting this morning at the shop, scheduled meeting. They start on time, end on time. I learned that from you. Is that during the meeting say, hey, what can I do better? I always ask that question, like in our general conversation, what can I do better? What can I do to help you guys run this better? Tell me. And then not only that, in our agenda, there's to-dos, right? Mm-hmm. I have things that are on there that are to-dos it's got my name next to it. So they're automatically by the system holding me accountable.
Yeah.
It's built in. It's an interesting thing because when you say like that people that I employ or any business owner that they employ, you're nothing without them. Like you literally don't have anything without your team.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I work for them. I serve for them.
Yes.
I serve them. And one guy is always kidding around. Hey, boss man. Hey, and it's uncomfortable because he goes, hey, boss man, what's it? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you are the boss. I'm like, yeah, but I can't do this without you though. So what do I call you then?
What's funny is my wife was a manager. She's a pediatric nurse practitioner. I call her a recovering pediatric. She works for our business full time. She runs our business full time. And she had someone who worked for her and called her boss lady. They're still friends. And every time she talks to her, she still calls her boss lady.
That's funny.
It's the respect they have for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. I
love it. Yeah.
It's cool. But I literally to my core don't believe, like, I don't know. It's like, no, this is a together thing. Yeah. I sometimes wonder, okay, whose company is it really? I guess it's mine, but is it? I don't know. I still have that thing of sure, if everything hits the fan, it's me.
Yeah.
I got everything on the line, but it's still ours.
Here's something I just realized from what you just said. It's like the government should be for the people, by the people, of the people. And that your business, you're like, it's for the people, by the people, of the people. But I'm responsible because that's how our government is supposed to be originally set up.
Yeah.
And because it's the right thing to do when you're a leader.
It's just like that thing, like where it's like, is the customer always right? Like that. Are they? No, they're not. But here's the thing. If we maybe this will bring it together. If we take care of our team's going to take care of our business and take care of our customers. So it doesn't like if the customer came in there, I'm going to back my team first. Like I'm going to back my guys, my team. That's us. That's our family. And yeah, maybe we're wrong sometimes. Maybe we're right. But at the end of the day, I'm backing my team. And then we'll take care of that customer as well. If we do that properly, taking care of our team, taking care of making sure we're living our core values and pursuing our purpose, then we're doing it right. And yeah, we'll figure out the rest. But it all comes down to me. If I serve my team, if I just serve my team and do the best that I can, it won't be perfect. I know that. But if I do that, everything else is going to work. I believe that to my core. They don't work for me. We work for each other.
I love that.
100% we work for each other. And there's going to be compromise both ways, right? It's not going to be 100% the way I want it. And that's the thing. Just because I'm the owner doesn't mean I get my way.
That's right. Yeah.
I love that. So crazy to think this just because I own it doesn't mean I get my way. Because a lot of times, most of the time, my way is not. right? I
Yeah.
need feedback from my team. I count on them more than they know so that I can make the proper decisions. Because at the end of the day, someone's got to decide, right? Someone's got to lead this thing.
Yeah.
And I count on them to give me the information so I can hopefully make the right decisions for our team.
Love it.
That's the way it works. That's just, maybe,
Well,
I don't know.
so I'm
That's
going to
just
go
the way I
back.
see it.
I'm going to go back to what I said about you being a mentor for me in these. So I know that you have put your employees through financial peace, or are
Yeah, we're
putting
doing it
them
now.
through
Yeah.
financial peace.
Yep.
And that is leading well. Tell me about your decision to put them through Financial Peace University and what they're getting out of it, what that's doing for your company,
Sure.
doing for those people. And also, did you make them? Did they sign up? What's the
Yeah,
parameters
I'm glad
around
you
that?
asked that question. So to me, I view the opportunity to own a business as a responsibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number
Yeah.
one, it's a privilege to own a business. Like all the stuff that we get to do, and I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the fact that we get to employ people or do life with people and watch them start a family
Yeah.
and grow. We get to work with people and do life with people and watch them get married, then start a family. We get to watch
Yeah.
them buy their first house. We get to watch them do all of these things. And to my core, I do believe that if you own a business, it's our responsibility to give our team the environment to get those things to do life. Our purpose is to help people do life. That doesn't start and end with customers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
help people do like a purpose has to be, and you know this better than me, a purpose has to be personal.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be you. I love helping people. I watch my dad always help people. He loves helping people.
Yeah.
So if that's true, then we need to help people. What are some things that people struggle with? Finances is like the number one reason for divorce, or
Oh,
up there
yeah.
at least. It's way up there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Finances is never taught anywhere, right? It's
No.
just not. It's, you just do what you get by with. You're reactive. You're not proactive with finances. So I just thought, I want to be able to have a company that offers more than just a paycheck, because it might be self-serving in a way, but it feels really good. Like internally,
Yeah.
it feels really good to see people getting ahead and getting to where they want to go. It's like when
There's,
you buy that coffee for someone at Starbucks or
yeah.
whatever, and you're just like, oh, you feel really good that day. If you're in a bad mood, the number one thing to do is go what?
Help somebody.
Do something for someone. Then you're like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, you just feel, okay, cool. Self-serving in a way, but the point is it works. So getting back to why they call it smart dollar for businesses, same thing as financial peace.
Yeah.
So getting
Okay.
back to that, it's like, why do that? Why not, man?
Why not?
Like the investment is nothing. It's really nothing. The investment
Right.
financially, it's a little,
To them, it's everything.
to them, it can be everything if they choose it to be, right?
Right.
But again, you asked the question, did I make them sign up? That no, we made the environment safe for them to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not embarrassed. Oh, does it mean that if I join and I use this program, does it mean I'm financially, because as guys, we're like, I'm financially good. No, you're not. Like none of us are really that good.
No.
Like we might be a little better than the next, but not at the end of the day,
Right.
man, it takes a lot to be good. Right?
Yeah,
It takes a lot to
yeah.
be set. So we made a safe environment. We had a party. We had husbands and wives come, and we did a launch party and all that. And so we create the environment
Mhm.
for them to participate in this. And then we do raffles every 2 weeks for people that we've made a game of it. So they complete a baby step or they do a video and all that. They keeps track of the points. And then we do a raffle every 2 weeks. Anyone who gains 1,000 points in 2 weeks, and they can win something. So we made it fun. If it helps one person, hopefully more, but if it helps
Yeah.
one, hey man, that's awesome.
That goes back to accountability. Listen to what Joe just said. That goes to accountability isn't a bad thing. When you do a raffle, make it fun. That's accountability.
Yeah.
It really is. So you
Yeah.
don't have to. I could talk all day with Joe Hanson and we would get 15 hours of fantastic just advice and life. We're going to have to, I know he's a busy guy. We're going to have to cut it right here. I'm going to have him on again because I have to, because he has just so much advice and practical application, and he doesn't speak from theory. He speaks from experience. And I know, because I know his wife, I know his kids, I know his family, his employees, some of them. And so he is who he says he is. We're going to have him back, hopefully, if he'll come. And Joe, and here's one thing I'll tell you, you need to follow Joe Hanson on social. He doesn't do coaching, but I think if you look at his posts, especially I see it on LinkedIn. I don't have anything else, but he will give you ideas on how to lead people in an authentic way to get more out of them, get more for your business. But most importantly, it is doing for them. And that's why he does it. That's his heart. Joe, where do they find you?
On LinkedIn, I guess I'm on there a little bit. I do a few posts here and there. That's pretty much it. Facebook and that, but that's all.
And if you're in Michigan, name of your shops, where they're
So we
located.
got Gordy's Garage in Roseville, and then we got a shop in Sterling Car Care. There's 2 locations for that, one in Sterling Heights and one in New Baltimore, Michigan. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Man, I really appreciate you. I know you guys got a lot from Joe. Hopefully you got a little bit from me. Joe, you have a great day, and I really appreciate you.